Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rich Sports Talk. Your greatest in the world of sports. Today we have a fun video for you. We are ranking all 8 City Connect uniforms. Now, I wanted to wait until all the uniforms were out so we can see them in their whole completion. Because again, I do think it's very important to see how all the assets, the hats, the pants, and how everything comes together to form the uniform. But we have all 8 of them now available. So we are going to rank them from the lowest to the highest. Now, again, if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any of our latest content on the channel about sports uniforms. We did do a video recently about the unveil of the Utah Mammoth. If you want to check that out, go and check it out now. But also give us your ideas for future sports videos. We would love to hear from you. What sports uniform videos would you like to see next? But let's get into it with the 8 City Connect uniforms. And up first in 8th place this year, it will be the Chicago Bulls. No, I'm sorry. It's the Chicago White Sox. As Dwight Schrute would say, identity theft is not a joke. Look, the Chicago White Sox were in an unfortunate position because I do think their Southside City Connects were one of the sharpest and best ones that I've seen in this entire process. And I was excited to see what Chicago would do, especially with a rich, over 100-year history and what they could incorporate. Instead, they just went with the Chicago Bulls across town. And during an era when the Bulls aren't exactly the most popular. Yes, I know Jerry Reinsdorf owns both franchises, but this just feels incomplete. I mean, the pinstripe just ends at the pants. It's a solid black pants. They didn't even go full pinstripe with the uniform. This just is a mess. The only thing I somewhat like about this uniform is the White Sox logo with the red tail on it. Again, I don't think that's a bad logo. But overall, I just didn't like how this was a copy and paste uniform for another team. And in a rich city like Chicago with so much history, with so many icons in that city, just felt uninspired, unfortunately. And you'll see in the video, the ones that are at the top of the list are very inspired. Up next in 7th is the Miami Marlins. The Marlins uniform just kind of irks me. Now, I love the Vice colors, but here's the thing. We've seen black Miami jerseys like this before. This really isn't much of a departure from a uniform we've seen. I was kind of hoping they go all in with a bright pink fluorescent jersey, maybe a light blue with a lot of pink. And instead, they went with this. And the other thing I don't like about this jersey is the 305 on the helmet and the hat. I think that is just an easy logo. It's not something inspired. They have so many interesting ways they could have played with the Marlin logo, with the M, with the Miami. Instead, they just put a 305 on there. There's so many things I wish they would have done. The Marlins have had such a rich history of uniforms and colors. One thing I was maybe hoping they'd do something with orange, because don't forget their stadium is the site of the former Orange Bowl. Maybe they pay homage to the former Dolphins or the former Miami Hurricanes teams that played on the site. I thought that could have been a very nice connection, or maybe even go the Latin route, which they did with their previous City of Connect jerseys. Instead, this just felt like a tweaking of a design in a uniform that we've already seen on the Miami Marlins field. And again, I don't think it's as uninspired as Chicago's, but I do think Miami has a lot of fun possibilities, and they did not take advantage of it. Clearly, these are my bottom 2. I will say from this point on, I like a lot of these uniforms. The top 3 I love, but the next grouping of the uniforms starting at number 6, I'm okay with these uniforms. Number 6 is the Washington Nationals. Now, again, I think Washington had a very hard task because their cherry blossom jerseys were gorgeous. They were beautiful. And this, to me, seems like a jersey that had a good idea, but it really wasn't thought out well. I love how they did the grid pattern on the jerseys. And yes, it's a cool aspect when you see up close. But when you're far away and watching on TV, it just doesn't really connect. I'm wondering if maybe they could have done with a darker color to maybe make it pop a little bit. And it also just feels weird that they have the Block DC logo on the jersey and it doesn't match on the hat. This is a good try, I would say. I like the concept of this. I like how they were inventive with this jersey. Again, I feel like they took more risks here than the Marlins or the White Sox. But overall, I just feel like this is a jersey that it's going in the right direction. If it had just a tweak or two, maybe a little bit of red in there, maybe a little bit more darker blue to make the details pop a little bit more, that it could have been a really good jersey. But again, Washington had a very difficult task because the cherry blossom jerseys were gorgeous. Up next, we have the San Francisco Giants. Now, the Giants are an interesting choice because I do like how they incorporated the purple into the helmet, into the socks, and into the pants. It's a color we rarely see with the Giants. I'll be honest, though, I did like their original City Connect uniforms a little bit better. Again, I know people didn't love the fog aspect of it. I thought that was a cool tie in. The lettering just throws me off on this jersey. There's just something with how the colors are put together that I wish it was just a little bit different. Overall, it's not a bad jersey, but I feel like with Chicago a little bit, yes, this was inspired by local San Francisco art. I kind of was hoping, like they did with the first one, to maybe do more of a landmark jersey, maybe do something with the trolley cars. Like there's a lot more identifying aspects of their ballpark and of San Francisco that I think would have really caught the eye and I think would have been better. But overall, not a bad jersey. And again, it's a black jersey, which we've seen the Giants wear before. I would have liked to see them maybe go a little bit of a different direction. I mean, the purple for a base jersey for them could have been a really interesting concept. But overall, I do think the Giants did a nice job. But I think that they're just missing a little bit to really put them into the top tier. Number 4 is the Astros. Now, the Astros were interesting because they just made it the Stros. They forgot the A, apparently. But overall, I thought these were a nice balanced uniform. I really like how they incorporated the orange. They incorporated the classic Astros logo in there. And I really like the A logo, the hats and the helmets with the white in the front and the dark blue. These are just visually very nice. Again, they didn't really do too much of a risk here, but I think that the numbering and everything came out really nice. It's a really solid jersey, and it's a really good look. Even with the weird Stros on there, I still bothers me that there's not Astros. Also, having the numbers on the right side of the jersey was a little bit different, which I like too. I was kind of hoping they'd maybe do a little bit of an homage to their ballpark being on the former train station there. But overall, I think this is a solid uniform, pays homage to the space program and, of course, to the early days of the Astros franchise. I'm just going to say it. I love the top 3, and let's get into them. Number 3, the Arizona Diamondbacks. These are gorgeous. Now, when they first did the Serpentes jerseys, they did it in that sand color, which wasn't bad, but it just didn't really distinguish itself. Now with the classic teal and purple, this is really great. And especially, I love the teal with the purple background. Really pops, has the snakeskin design on the jerseys. This was really inspired and really well done. I love the logo, how it all snakes together. This was a beautiful uniform, and it's one of those teams that I wish would go back to their original color palette. Because especially in baseball, there really isn't a lot of teams that utilize the purple cover. So many teams use red, they use black. I feel like this is really the Arizona Diamondbacks' true identity. And I really wish that they would embrace this color palette going back and forward, going forward. Overall, chef's kiss for the Diamondbacks. This is gorgeous. And I think this is a reminder that this is truly the look that this franchise should have going forward. Number 2, the Colorado Rockies. Man, when you thought that the license plate jersey couldn't get better, they come out with these. And look, I love these jerseys. I love the purple and the baby blue, the contrast. But what really helps is the state colors of yellow and red that they put in here to really separate the jerseys. And it's a really smart design, too. Now, when I first came on here to talk about the City Connect uniforms, I was curious. I was wondering, would the pants be purple to make that all one look? They went with the white pants, but I still think it came out very good. I love the aspect, too, of the purple and the baby blue. The purple representing the plains, and then it comes up to the Rocky Mountains with the Rocky Mountain logo and the baby blue representing the sky. And one element that I'm really happy I predicted was that they would have the baby blue caps to really go with the theme and really keep that color contrast separated. Really well done by the Rockies. These are gorgeous. And look, they're really fun colors and a color combination we really never see in baseball. I think the Rockies have done an unbelievable job on both of their jerseys, and they've really embedded themselves into this City Connect jersey program. And number one is the Boston Red Sox. The Boston Red Sox could have looked at this and snubbed their noses because they're a traditional franchise. They're one of the bedrocks of this league. But instead, they broke the mold. They first had the city-colored flag jerseys with the yellow and the blue, which I thought were a little loud, but I grew on me. These, though, are gorgeous. I love this shade of green. It's a color you rarely see in baseball, and it really fits the city of Boston. It looks like the Celtics, but we all know it pays homage to the Monster. And the things I love are the little details in here. You have the little lights on the jersey. You have the same font that's on the scoreboard. You have the yellow number for the current score. You have on the backs little dips in the numbers where they would actually hang on the Monster. And the Red Sox really have embraced this very well. And one thing I really love about this is they are paying homage to one of the most iconic symbols in baseball. When you think of baseball symbols or aspects of baseball parks, the Green Monster, if it's not the first thing you think of in baseball, it's one of the very top three that come to mind. And I do love how they pay homage to it. And it really opens up a lot of possibilities, I think, around the league. There's a lot of great ballparks around this league that have characteristics and unique features. And I hope that future City Connect uniforms will pay homage to them and really embrace that aspect. But overall, these look gorgeous. They're well done. They are simple, but at the same time, they look really, really good. And I just love these jerseys. And I'm telling you, it might hurt my wallet because I want to buy these jerseys. But those are my rankings for the City Connect uniforms. But I want to hear from you. What were your top City Connect uniforms and why? Do you disagree with my takes? What was your favorite? And maybe on some of the ones that I didn't necessarily love, what are the elements of it that you love that I'm not understanding? Would love to hear from you in the comments and get your opinions. And again, this is a fun YouTube channel where we are going to embrace a lot of sports uniforms, sports logos. So if there's a topic you want to discuss, put it in the comments. Many of my videos have come from viewer suggestions, and I love your feedback. You guys give me amazing feedback after every video, and I really appreciate it. But until next time, I'm your host, Nolan Rich, and this is Rich Sports Talk. We will see you next time.